he was like, he was ahead of everybody when it came to understanding spacing and combos and stuff like that. Because all I knew was I could throw a fireball, I could throw a hurricane kick, I could do a dragon punch. I'm the best. Forget all this other stuff. Forget, I never even used normals. The only normal I really used was low roundhouse to, you know, trip people. The sweep button. That's all I knew was sweeping, man. When it came to normals, other than that, I was about them fireballs and them hurricane kicks and ending it with a DP. But Damien was nice, man. And I used to just sit when he played. I used to just stand next to him and watch him play. If somebody else came in and put their court in, I would just watch them get bodied, man. Damien was, and the thing is, Damien was so ahead. Like back in the day, you never really seen many people pick Zangief or Dhalsim. People pick Dhalsim because you can, like, he had the stretchy limbs, he had the long limbs, so you can hit people across the screen. So people picked that and would, you know, spam those buttons, but they would still get beat. But Damien knew how to use Dhalsim, man. He knew how to use him. He knew what to do and when to do it. And he would pick Zangief. I remember one time I was playing early in the day and Damien popped up. I mean Damien, I said Zamian. Damien popped up and he was like, yo, what up? I'm like, yo, what up? And he put his corner in. I'm like, nah, don't press start. He pressed start already. And I'm like, oh, come on, man, you gonna beat me? He's like, fine, I'll just pick Zangief. And I'm like, oh, alright. I'm gonna body this nigga. I got Ken. I'm gonna body this nigga, man. And he fucked me up, man, with Zangief. And I was so defeated. I was just like, oh my god, man. You beat me with a character that nobody uses. Yo, seriously, like, people picked every character but Zangief and Dhalsim. And this nigga beat me with Zangief. Zangief was the least picked one in my area. And I got beat with that. And I'm like, man, I got beat with a nigga with no moves, man. The fuck is wrong with me? Why am I this bad? But it was just because, you know, I was using those special moves. I would throw a Hadouken with some terrible time, and he would just hop over it and fucking just murder me, man. Just end my character's life, man. My timing was so bad. I was all about those specials. I didn't understand you gotta incorporate the normals into your game and shit like that. I was just a little big head nigga thinking he was the best because he could do the moves that other people couldn't do. So like Damien was that nigga at our pizza shop. When he wasn't around, I was that nigga. But I wasn't as nice as he was, but I was still that dude. Then behind me was Walter. So me, Damien, and Walter, we was like the crew. We was the three dudes, and we became like the Street Fighter niggas in my area. And I forgot who Walter used. I know Damien mained. I don't know. Damien didn't main anyone. He could body people with every character, man, no matter who he picked. Me, I was a Ken character. I was a Ken user. Ken was my main. And Walt, I think Walt used Blanca, or maybe Guile. I'm thinking it was one of them. It was one of them. But then the drama started happening. And remember, I'm a little kid. I'm like 12, and I didn't understand how serious games can get. To me, it was just all fun. And I remember going to the arcade one day and seeing these two dudes in there. These two dudes was playing Street Fighter, and they were probably high school kids, and me being a kid that was just entered middle school. And I was 11 at the time. I think I was in 6th grade. I just got into middle school. And these two dudes, they looked like grown ass men, but they were high school dudes. They were playing. And I guess one dude kept grabbing the dude. Back in the day, grabs are serious. Like, when you threw somebody, when you executed a throw, you was on thin ice, depending on who you was against. Like, And I guess the dude kept throwing this guy, and the guy was getting fed up. And he was like, "Yo, you threw me again, man." And the dude next to him was like, "So?" And you know, they playing and playing. And I guess the guy threw him again. He was like, "Yo, stop fucking throwing me." And the guy was like, "It's in the game," which is true. Like, it's in the game. Whatever's in the game is legal. Niggas used to form rules. You know, every arcade in different towns had a different set of rules that you had to abide by. And you really had to abide by these rules, because if you didn't, you get jumped. Especially if you wasn't from that area. If I went across town to some other arcade and I didn't follow their rules, their set of rules, and these are not written rules, like, you know, these are just rules that people go by, someone made up. And if you didn't follow them when you walked out of whatever establishment you was in that had this game, when you walked outside to go home, before you even step all the way outside, you got fucked up. But this dude kept throwing him, and he was like, "Yo, throw me one more time, man. Throw me one more fucking time." And I'm just a little kid. I'm like, "Oh shit, he just said the F word." You know, I wasn't an innocent nigga, but I wasn't no badass kid neither. Like, and hearing people curse, I'm like, damn, this is getting serious, man. So the dude ended up throwing him one more fucking time, and you just heard this dude cocked back his fist and jabbed this dude in the side of his head. This dude stiffened up and fell. Looked like somebody chopped a tree down. That's how stiff he was when he fell. Just boom, landed next to me, and I'm like, shit, damn. Off a Street Fighter, this is what video games can lead to. And the dude turned around and was like, "I told you not to fucking throw me, punk." You know, Gino, the guy, his pizza shop, he's like, "Hey man, you can't be doing this. It's games. What are you doing? You gotta leave. And the guy's like, "Nah man, you fucking throw me." Gino's like, "I don't care about that." He said, "This is a place of business. There's no fighting in here." And he's like, "Alright, my bad." And the guy left, and the other dude was on the floor, and Gino's slapping him in the face, trying to wake him up. And I'm standing there like, shit, should I continue playing this shit? Is it this serious? It seems like it's this serious, because this nigga got laid the fuck out, man. And anyways, after that, the guy got up, he woke up finally and just stumbled off, and they both just bounced, and the Street Fighter game was free, because, you know, the dude who knocked out the other dude and walked off, and this dude's laying on the floor. But I didn't even care about hopping on the machine like, oh shit, free game. I was just like, I was kind of still in shock, like, whoa, I never seen that before. Like, I seen my cousins fight over games, but it's different when it's family, and there was never really no fist thrown, and niggas would throw punches, but it's them little bitch punches. When you fighting family, you ain't really going at it, and if you do, it's more of a wrestling match. You pushing and shoving and hit me, see what happened, and you in front of each other's like, I dare you. But to see a nigga get knocked out, I think that was the first knockout I ever seen in my life over Street Fighter. And I'm like, man, I love this game, but I don't know if I love it this much to take a punch to the face and wake up on the floor looking at the ceiling like, what the fuck happened? But and that's just the beginning, man. That's the first time I seen something like that happen. But it definitely wasn't the last. And I remember Damien popping up a little later that day. I was outside hanging out on the block, and Damien had walked by, and I was like, "Yo, come in, man." We was talking and hanging out, and I was like, "You headed to the pizza shop?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yo, some guy just got knocked out today." And he's like, "For real? What happened?" I'm like, "He kept throwing the dude," and he was like, "Oh." And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Is it that serious?" And Damien was like, "Well, across town in this other arcade, I seen a couple of people get stomped out for throwing too much." And I'm like, "What?" And I didn't understand the whole unwritten rule thing, but I was starting to get it. And he was like, "Yeah, this dude threw a guy more than twice. Over there, you can't throw a guy more than 2 times per round." I'm like, damn. Because, you know, in these games, Street Fighter 2, there was no Tekken. And when I say Tekken, I don't mean there was no Tekken like that game made by Namco. I mean, there was no tech throwing. Like, you couldn't both try to throw and then you both get neutralized because you both did it at the same time. No, it's whoever went to throw first, they got thrown. There was no reversal or anything. Well, there was a reversal, but it wasn't called a reversal back then. But when somebody was coming too close and you know they was coming in for a throw, you would just throw them before they threw you. That was basically the reversal. There was some slang, there was some words that we was using back then that, like, it wasn't technically part of the game, but it became part of the game. So when you threw somebody before they threw you, we would call that a reversal. And there was another thing we called it automatics. Now it's known as negative edge, but we called it automatics. So when you did if you did a crouching fierce, and immediately after you did the fierce and you scooped it and did a fireball motion without pressing another input, a fireball would come out. We called those automatics. I didn't know, like now it's called negative edge, but you know, we didn't know these things back then, so we thought we was finding out some secret shit. And a lot of people didn't understand how that worked. And it's like, wait, what do you mean? A crouching fierce into a fireball? It's like, yeah, if you do a crouching fierce into a fireball, you got to press the punch button twice. You got to hold down and press punch for the fierce. Then you got to do the quarter circle forward and press punch again for the fireball to come out. But if you do the crouching fierce, and as soon as you press the punch for the fierce, you do the quarter circle forward immediately, the fireball will come out. But I didn't know it was negative edge back then, so we was calling it automatic. Same thing with the low forward into hurricane kick. You do a low forward and then you do the quarter circle command before you let go of the forward button, and the hurricane kick would automatically come out. And it's just like finding these little things out back then, and you was that nigga. You was just that dude, like, yo, I could do this without doing this, and people like, yo, word. It's like, yo, I'm figuring out some new tech. So that was called automatics. That's what we called it. A lot of other areas called it something else. But I remember one day going to the other arcade across town. I had summer school, and it was me and my buddy Walter. And this it wasn't an arcade. This is another pizza shop with you know, arcade machines in it. I go into that pizza shop, and I think this is before summer school, because it had to be. And this spot had the best pizza, man. This spot had that. It was something about that pizza. It was extra greasy, which makes it taste better. But I was playing in there, and I picked Ken because that was the only person I picked. And I was fighting against the Guile. And all the hood niggas was in this arcade, because this arcade was closer to the projects. And I remember being closer to dude, and I did two low shorts, because he was in the corner. I did low short, and he was just blocking. So I would walk up and I threw him. And then when he got up again, he just started blocking again. So I did low short again. Then I walked up and threw him again. And this dude told me in mid-game, he was like, you can't do that no more. And I'm like, what? He's like, you can't throw more than twice around here. And I'm like, oh shit, this is what Damien was talking about. So in my head, it's like, if I throw this dude again, he might throw a punch and I might be the nigga falling down, or I might just get jumped by everybody. Like, nothing may not happen, but when I walk out of here to get ready to go to summer school, I might have, 30 sneakers on my face, because 30 niggas is kicking me in my grill. So I remember not throwing him again. And I was like, alright, you can only throw twice per round. I still beat him though. And he was still mad, and he walked away. He's like, that's that cheating shit though. Back then it was called cheesing. That's that cheesing shit, man. You cheesing, B. You cheesing. I'm gonna let it ride though, because you didn't throw me a third time. And I'm like, oh shit, man. And it was kind of like, do I really want to play in this arcade? Because in my area it was nice, it was chill. It wasn't really, I didn't live near the projects. We lived on the other side of town, and it was, it was a nicer area than where I'm at now. and even the people around was nice.